J-Dub, what are my thoughts on Neo? Neo, what are my thoughts on the Neo? Go check out the Neo. So my thoughts on this bad boy. The fact that Neo broke its 20 EMA, came back down Wednesday and retested, it actually confirmed yesterday with a nice little push off that 20 EMA. I see potential for Neo for one more little leg up, right? Maybe one more day, 2 more days. You actually already got it. So now that I look at pre-market, I'm like, yeah. So, I mean, I'm thinking like, we're still at 1660, 17. I'm like, yeah, you can get one more leg up to 1825. And I look at the pre-market chart and I'm like, oh, it's already made a nice little gap up from 1666 to 18. So I think this is the point where we start to find resistance on Neo. This is the point where I think it starts to stop and slow down a bit. Why is that? Look at this prior support here and resistance right around 1821. Right? Do you see that 1821 level? Right? You see it was support, support, resistance, resistance, resistance. What else is right around that 1821? Well, you have your 50 SMA. So I would think that today you'd probably come up to that 1820, 1825 level. And that's where you're probably going to see a lot of profit taking and a lot of struggling. But if you do break that 1825 level with some volume, I mean, that does show some strength. And you could see Neo potentially up towards around this 1930 level. If you do break that 1825 strongly with good buying volume, I think you can get another dollar to the upside out of it. But I do believe that the 50 SMA and that 1820 resistance level is going to cause some issues, and it's going to struggle a little bit. And in this market, guys, I'm definitely not in a position to be buying breakouts, right? I'm not in a position to be buying breakouts. I want to see a breakout, a retest, buy off support into a next level of resistance, right? I don't want to be buying for the breakout. I actually want to see the breakout occur, let stock prove itself, pull back and retest, then get in at support and take it into the next level of resistance. So the fact that we're already gapping up today over $1 into resistance, I would think that today's going to be a little bit of a struggle day for Neo. A little bit of a struggle day. Come in. Hey. Hi, sweetie. Yeah, this Chris guy's having a bad day. Hi, sweetie. Yeah, that's where your Daisy Duck went. Okay, give me a kiss. Have a good day. I love you, okay? I'll see you tomorrow in Tallahassee. You going to Tallahassee? Here, I need you to go, okay? You want to sit on my lap? Yeah? Okay. You want to sit in my lap? That's fine. But if you want to sit here and touch my keys, you got to go. What time is it? 8:46? We're good. Do you see us in the camera? No? Look, that's you. See, that's us. Oh, where's that coming from? Do you want to trade with me today? All right, so what's a candlestick? You know what a candlestick is? What is it? What do the green candlesticks mean?
Go.
The green candlesticks mean go? Yeah, you're right. What did the red candlesticks mean? Stop. Green candlesticks mean go, and red candlesticks mean stop, I guess, guys. All right, okay. What about this gray line? What's this gray line right here? Do you know what that is? See that gray line? What is it?
Black.
No, it's called the VWAP.
VWAP.
Yeah, do you know what the VWAP is? No? Well, let's keep it simple, okay? So it's a moving level of support and resistance. So when the stock comes down to the VWAP, it likes to hold up as support. So you could look to buy here. Yeah, you can buy here. Yeah, so it's a moving level of support and resistance. Now we got to teach you what support and resistance is. I love you. Yes. Have a good day, okay? I'll see you in Tallahassee tomorrow. All right. They are. Will you shut my door for me? Please? Thanks. I love you. See ya. Starting her off right, guys. Starting her off right. Hey, I tell you what, guys. I would say by 10 or 12, she's going to be out trading me. That's the goal. If she finds any passion with this or any interest in trading or doing what daddy does, I'm teaching her. I'm teaching her. Absolutely. By 10 or 12 years old, she'll be out trading me. So, game over, guys. We're going to have a little prodigy. She's going to take over Alpha in the future. She's going to take over. She's going to be the best trader out there. I'm going to mold her into just the best trader ever. If she has an interest in it. If she doesn't, I'm not going to force it down her throat. I'm going to let her do what she wants to do. But she's like, oh, hell yeah, daddy. Teach me this stock thing. Oh, it's going down. It's going down. Yeah, she'll be like, yeah, I make like $500 a day, guys. And they're like, what? What's $500? Literally the best explanation of candlesticks ever. Yeah, green means go, daddy. Red means stop. Right? She's already good, man. She's 4 years old, and she can teach some what a candlestick means. She's better than Cam the man. At least she knows what a candlestick means. Oh, got him. That's a knee slapper right there. My daughter's 4, and she can explain candlesticks better than some of these Discord traders. Oh, shoot. That's a knee slapper. That's a knee slapper. Oh, boy. All right, it's 8:50, guys. We are live on YouTube. Oh, my bad, guys. Dude, it's a weird morning. My computer's all jacked up. I woke up late. My allergies are kicking my butt. I'm just thrown off. I was late to chat today because my PC wouldn't even start. It was like, your password's incorrect. I'm like, yo, this is the same password I type in every day. And I'm typing in, it's like, your password's incorrect. I'm like, let me reset the password. It's like, that password's incorrect again. I'm like, what do you mean? Dude, it's so weird. It's like everything with my PC. It's not just the screen flickering. It's not just this weird green line that's right in the middle of this monitor. There's just a green line going straight across the middle of this monitor. I'm like, what's going on? I got a Mac. I got a Mac here. I got a Mac there. I got a Mac. I got a Mac. Mo, thoughts on SPY? It did have a double bottom, but I doubt we will go up from here. I'm thinking we could hit at least 380 before we start to go up. So that's exactly what we were looking at yesterday, guys. Remember on Wednesday nights when we were talking about the SPY and the Qs, on how I was expecting either the gap up or the gap down and how you trade that. So we had the gap down, the retest, and we flushed on down to low a day. That was a great trade out of the gate. Yesterday was a very choppy day, right? And I said, you know, you have 3 opportunities. You have 3 options. You get the gap down, retest in the short. You get a gap up, retest in the long, or you sit choppy. Well, we got a gap down retest for a quick short out of the gate. And then literally the rest of the day was just chop, 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 chop. And then yesterday, what we were talking about, I think we could remain choppy today. I think we can remain choppy, not going to see any kind of explosive moves in my opinion, but I think this choppy sideways price action and movement today is really going to help us really put in this potential double bottom. And if we really start setting in this double bottom here on the daily chart, and we start to see the SPY building back up over 400, I think we could see a short-term rally ahead of next month's FOMC meeting back up into that 414-ish level, right? We have a little bit of a gap to fill at 411. We have resistance at 415-ish, 414, 415. And then we could possibly see it up towards around 429. But yes, the other way around, right? If we do not hold that 385 on the SPY, we have room down into the low 370s. So yesterday was a make or break day. We held on up. Today could be another make or break day. If we start falling below last week's low, look out. We still have room to the downside. But if we can hold that up and ideally hold above yesterday's low, right? Ideally, we can hold above yesterday's low on the SPY and build up again today. That's really going to build some confidence that this is a possible double bottom, and this could be the start of a short-term, nice little rally back up to at least fill that gap around 411 on the SPY. So what we're looking at today, team, okay? I think it's probably going to be a choppy day. But if it's not choppy and we actually get some action in a direction, right? What we're looking for is over this 394.61 level, right? We want to see the SPY breaking above that 394.61. And not only was that pre-market resistance, but look left. Go back to last week. We have a low. We have a low. Resistance, resistance, support, resistance, right? We can see that not just pre-market highs today, but we look back in the left, in the past, and we see it was prior support resistance. So that's a very key level that we need to break above in order to see the SPY even getting back up towards around that 400 level. So breaking over that 394.60, that's when we can see that push up to 398 and then 400. But to the flip side, there is a little bit of this potential trend line. Not the best looking trend line, but there's that potential little trend line that you can keep on watch here on the SPY as well. You top out here. If this is a double top, team, this is a double top that's setting in. We start cracking on down below this trend line. I would expect to see the SPY pull back and possibly retest yesterday's low at 387. Okay. So the SPY is definitely today's a very important day. Today's gonna, potentially determine, is this that double bottom that gets us going, or are we still gonna drop to the downside? Right now, there's no sense in predicting. It's just looking at what we have, waiting for the setup, waiting for the confirmation, and then getting a really high probability idea, getting a good idea of what direction we're heading to next. Right now, I say it's still a little 50-50. We really don't know. We really don't know where it's heading to next. But if we start breaking resistance, we have high probabilities of where it's going next. We start cracking on down this trend line, we start to put those probabilities in our favor that we could start coming back down to 387. So now what is it? It's a game of patience. We got to wait. That's it. Let's go ahead and roll that intro, and let's go ahead and dive into it and officially start our day, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. What's up? What's going on? Happy Friday. Welcome back. I hope you guys had a wonderful Thursday night. I know you guys had a wonderful day in the market. Yesterday was an awesome day inside of chat, inside of the market. Tons of opportunity. And today, team, there's some decent opportunity in the market. So we're going to take this time to get you prepared and talk about where the best of the best opportunity is, where your focus should be to lock in some profits and to end this week on a strong and profitable note. So what's up, everybody inside of chat? Jay Doss, what's up? One tall cool one. Crypto Cole, Jay Cohen, Arlene, Ron, Angel, what's up, buddy? Mr. Nick, AJ, Jakey, Licky, Stir, Mr. Corey, Jason, AZ, J-Dub, Derek Guy. Guys, before you know it, I'm no longer going to be able to list off everybody inside of chat. There's going to be like hundreds of names. And it's already getting to the point where it's like, man, I get through like 10 and I'm out of breath. So good morning, everybody. Everybody inside of chat. Good morning. Welcome back. Everybody on YouTube, what's up? Good morning. We got Mo over on YouTube. Jack, what's up? Devon, Ed, Nevis. We all know who Ed is. He's the man, the myth, the legend. Danny, Double M. Glad to be here. I'm happy that you're here as well. What's up, traders? Good morning again and happy Friday. All right, what do we got going on for the day? Well, if we look at these upgappers, right? Look at our penny stock upgapper list. That's the green box off to the left. What do we really see there? I mean, not a lot, right? Not a lot. The only thing that is now starting to pop on up that wasn't here moments ago is IMMX. So let's start there, guys. IMMX. Why is this stock up 54%? That's the first thing we need to identify. Why is the stock currently pushing up 54% and trading 4 million shares? Let's go look and see if there's any news. There is news. Would you look at that? So what's going on with IMMX? So they highlight that its IMX-110 showed improved survival over J&J's FDA-approved drug Tabarkadurkabur related to connective tissue cancer, right? I don't know what Tabarkabur means, but what I do see here is that they're highlighting that their IMX-110 vaccine drug, whatever the heck it is, that improved survival over J&J's FDA-approved drug, Tabarkadurka, related to cancer. Keyword, cancer, okay? So we have IMMX with a nice press release here. We have IMMX. It is a low float stock, okay? IMMX is 5.8 million in float. We have very nice volume. So this is meeting the criteria to be a watch list worthy stock. So what's the next step? Look at our charts. Let's get prepared. Beth, appreciate you coming in clutch like always. So let's go ahead and look at just these obvious levels, just these very obvious levels. What's the first obvious level that we see here? We're looking for significant points in the price, right? Just significant areas. So I see this gap down low a day. That's significant. And then it was respected here as a spiking high. So we can see that 279 is going to be a level of resistance. So knowing that 279 is resistance and we're at 250, would you really want to trade this stock? No. Why? Support is at $2. Why $2? Psychological, natural. It's also a daily level of support. So knowing that resistance is at 279 and support's at $2, do you really want to be a buyer at 250? I don't want to be a buyer at 250. I'd rather wait to see this come down closer to support, then be a buyer and sell at resistance. So we have potential with IMMX, but right now, I don't think it's a great area to be getting in, okay? So we know our first level of resistance is going to be 279. Let's look at some other obvious levels. We have 330, that spiking high right here, right around 330. And then underneath some of these daily lows here, guys. So right there at 350. So between 330 and 350 is going to be next resistance over 279, with bottom support at this point in time being back down at $2 on IMMX. So we'll definitely watch this one today out of the gate. And that's really it. Looking at all of our top gainers, what do we notice today? No volume, no volume, no volume, no volume, no volume, no volume, no volume. I mean, look at these stocks that are gapping up 12, 13, 14, 15%, right? They're gapping up. The first thing we want to really look at is volume. Is it trading high relative volume? We can see no, 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 no. The only stock that we have right now trading high relative volume, right, is IMMX. We looked at IMMX. There's a catalyst. We see it's a low float stock. It's meeting that criteria to be a watch list worthy stock. That is the only fresh stock with fresh news today that's worth your time. Now let's talk about our prior day movers, some back burner stocks that have potential for today. Well, we have NURO. NURO gapped up yesterday, didn't really do too much throughout the day, just really set sideways, and then eventually got a nice break of that VWAP, went on a nice big rip to the upside. Okay, so we missed that nice big rip to the upside, but what we did not miss was the pullback to support. Remember, guys, I don't like buying stocks that break out. Okay, in this market, buying breakouts are too risky. Okay, this would have been the exception of a breakout that would have worked. What do I like to do in this current market? Let the stock break out. Let the stock prove itself that it's actually a healthy, strong breakout. Healthy, strong breakouts like to pull back and retest the breakout level, which is resistance. Old resistance turns into new support. So as the stock is ripping up to 540, I'm like, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Wait for it to come back down to 475 and then buy it. Put your stops at like 460, right? Where's your target? A retest of the high that we just sold off from. So instead of buying this at 540, getting scared and stopping out at support, you're not touching the stock. You're not FOMOing in. You're not chasing it. You're waiting for the stock to pull back. You're getting in at support, stops just below support, and an easy target is simply a retest of the prior high. And look at that. You got a retest and exceeded that prior high. Right? So that's what you need to be doing in this market. Seeing stocks break out, let them break out. Let them prove themselves to you. Build some confidence. Let them come back and retest. Then look to be a buyer at support. Your stops are tight. Your targets are pretty far away. Okay, so that is a good way to trade this market. So we had a nice gap up and a nice push yesterday into the day, and we're not dumping on off. We're actually pulling right back in to this 475 level. So in URL, if we do open and we come down to 475, I'm looking to be a buyer at 475. I expect to see a nice little washout to 475. That's where I expect to see buyers step on in, and that could definitely push this back over 5. What do we know when stocks break resistance, right? Breakout traders move in. We're not trading breakouts, but we know other traders are. So let's play into that. Let's get in at a level of support. Let's let everybody come in at a breakout over 5 and push this up for us. When they're buying, we're selling. When they're selling, we're buying. Just get an edge. Be one step ahead. Try and think, what are traders going to do before it happens? Right? I know that professionals want to be buying at support. Right? Those are the lowest entries and the lowest risk. I know unprofessional traders, newer traders in the market, they buy stocks when they break over resistance. They buy stocks when they start ripping on up. So I want to get in at support, keep my stops nice and tight. If that support level bounces over 5, I know that traders are going to start jumping in. They're FOMOing in, thinking this stock can run back to 589, and that's going to help us get that push, and we can start selling into that pressure. We can start selling into that push to the upside. So I'd like to see this kind of flat line, drop down to 475 out of the gate, get a position, break over 5, first target up towards around 530. That's where I'm going to lock in some profits. Second target, yeah, up into the 530s. That was yesterday's first big level of resistance, right around 530. So let's mark that up. And then our next level that we're going to lock in some profits is going to be 575. Now, if this stock ever breaks yesterday highs in $6, your final target on NURO is going to be the 200-day moving average of $6.70. I like NURO a lot. It's absolutely one of my top stocks to watch right out of the gate. My second stock that I really want to be watching out of the gate is VERU. Okay, so VERU, massive move over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, just from what? $7 all the way to $17.20. That was Tuesday's post-market high, up towards around 720. Okay. Over the last couple of days, we've seen some profit taking. It's normal. When a stock pushes up this high, it's normal to see profit taking. When there's profit taking, the stock will drop back down. But is it healthy profit taking? Or is it aggressive? How do we tell? Look at your volume. Over these last 2 days, we had a lot less volume traded on VERU, telling me that this is a healthy, decreasing volume pullback, and we could start to see buyers move back in and retake control of VERU. So if VERU starts breaking this multi-day downtrend, look at this downtrend from Tuesday post-market, Wednesday pre-market, yesterday's high. resistance in pre-market today. If we start to break this downtrend and 460, why is 460 key? Resistance, resistance, support, support. So we see 460 is a key level that lines up right around that downtrend as well. We start breaking the downtrend, that's a good first sign. I expect to see volume move in. We start breaking back above 460, I expect to see even more volume move in to the ERU. Now, where could we see the stock go? Your first target is 15 bucks. So you got to be willing to lock in some profits around 15. Your second target, 1541 to 1550. You have to be willing to lock in some profits there. Where's your next target? That's going to be Wednesday spiking highs of around 1636. You've got to lock in some profits there. You have that pre-market high from Wednesday, 1670. You have to lock in some profits there. And then your final target is going to be a retest of Tuesday's post-market high of 1720. Support right now, some of the best support right now is down at 1372. Is Kramer talking about the market's going to rebound? Short the markets. Short the markets. If Kramer says it's a buy, you go short. If Kramer says it's a terrible company, you freaking buy it. You trade against Kramer, you got to make a lot of money, team. All right? So we have VERU. I like VERU a lot. I think VERU has some great potential for today, team. All right? So definitely VERU out of the gate is a top stock for me. Now, I have a couple other stocks. I'm just going to list off really quick. Just list them off. Okay? Support resistance. They set up, they set up. If not, I'm not going to waste your time and dissect them. I want to remove the distractions. We're going to watch SIGA just to see if it starts moving today. It could, it couldn't. It's ugly. There's nothing here. But we know that sometimes Fridays are so dead and these top stocks don't do anything that traders resort back to these low flow stocks that have ripped. We'll watch SIGA, team. Okay? Not right now out of the gate. Definitely think, there's better opportunity. But if we don't see those stocks really moving and setting up and looking good, and we start to see SIGA moving on up, there could be some opportunity here. So keep SIGA on watch. It's a back burner at this point in time. DPSI is a back burner trade as well. Okay, so I want to just run a downtrend here on DPSI. If we really start to break this downtrend here out of the gates, we could see a really ugly mid-candle breakout. Right? I don't like this type of mid-candle. It wasn't a very strong close with a gap down right in the middle. But if you just look at the candle body and yesterday's candle, we put in this doji right in the middle of Wednesday's big green candle. So it could be a mid-candle breakout. It's a very ugly one, right? It's very ugly. It's definitely not an A+, but it has some of that criteria to potentially be a mid-candle breakout. You're sitting right at 590 support. You have the downtrend that could be broken, and we know when downtrends break, that's when buyers start to step back in. So there is potential. There is potential with DPSI. The best potential? No. But is there at least a little bit? There's a little bit of potential here with DPSI. All right. So all we're looking for is some volume move in, break of the downtrend. We know we could see it back up towards around yesterday's highs, right around 940. At this point in time, it is a back burner. The only way I really see DPSI moving today is if IMMX loses the hype. If NURO doesn't set up, if VERU doesn't set up and starts dumping, that's when I think traders could go back over to SIGA. That's why it's on a back burner. And DPSI. That's why it's a back burner. I'm still watching ARRY today for a possible swing trade and SKYH for a possible day trade that could turn into a swing trade. So those are some back burner trades as well. But the top stocks that you really should be focused on right at the start of the day, team. Right? You have 3 stocks that show great potential. IMMX, number 1. NURO, potentially number 2. VERU, number 3. SIGA and DPSI currently on the back burner. All right. Affirm. Right? Affirm and SC are doing the same things. We talked about these this morning. I'll go ahead and run back through them right now at this point in time. So we all know that the trend is down, and it's a very strong downtrend. Okay, it's a very strong downtrend without a very strong indication of a reversal. So what we see in downtrends is the stock sells off, they bounce into resistance and continue the downtrend, right? They sell off, they bounce into resistance, continue the downtrend until we actually see a confirmed reversal. Right now with SE, we're not seeing any indication of a confirmed reversal. Affirm, we're not really seeing an indication of a confirmed reversal. All we're seeing is a massive sell-off into new lows, right? SE, selling off into new 52-week lows. We're simply bouncing on up with light volume. Affirm, we're bouncing on up with light volume into a level of resistance. Prior low, 20 EMA. Okay, so we have two prior lows and the 20 EMA holding the stock down as resistance 2 days back to back. Wednesday and Thursday, rejection, rejection. If we start to see that third rejection day today at 27.68 with Affirm, I am looking to short this stock for a day trade that could turn into a little bit of a swing trade as well, to at least come back down and fill this gap on the daily chart, to at least fill this gap down towards around 1850. So I do like the possibility and the probabilities that this could be a great day trade off resistance to the short side to get this thing coming back down. And then if we really see that strong rejection and a nice sell-off, we could see this pull back and close our gap right around, it's actually 18, what was the close? 1804. So 1804 would be that gap fill on Affirm. So right now I'm a little short biased on Affirm, but if we start breaking out with some good volume, we'll look to take it long to the 50 SMA. But I see quite a few reasons that suggest this could be a nice little short on Affirm, simply shorting the bounce, trading with the trend off of two very strong levels of resistance that we've rejected off of multiple times, 2 days back to back. If today's the third day, we see that strong rejection, I'm looking to get short on Affirm. Same thing with SE. It's doing the same thing. Downtrend, light volume bounce into two key levels of resistance. Prior low, 20 EMA. Now we've already seen 3 days back to back getting rejected, rejected, rejected. If we see the stock open on up and just start rolling on over, we start selling on off here a little bit. I'm looking to get short here on SE. We have this little gap here, right? Just a very teeny gap that we would look to fill, and then back down to possibly retest this prior low of around 55 bucks on SE. So same exact reasoning, same exact setup in this downtrend, light volume bounce into strong resistance, looking for that third to fourth day to get rejected here, to start rolling on over, trading with the trend, looking for the stock to pull back down into that $55 level. Because again, there's not a strong indication just yet that it's ready to actually start reversing to the upside. But again, the market's the market. Anything can happen. If it's not staying below 82 bucks and it's looking strong as if it's trying to break through 82, we're not looking to go short. We actually start wanting to think long up towards around 90 on SE. But my plan today on Affirm and my plan today on SE is to the short side. I do not have a long plan in place. If this doesn't give me the shorts, I'm not going to touch the stocks whatsoever. I'm looking for these rejections as, again, the probabilities are towards the short side. So I'm just thinking short. If we see the setup, we see the opportunity, I'm short. If not, I'm not going to touch these stocks. Okay. SoFi, you definitely want to watch SOFI. Definitely want to watch this stock. We have potential to $10. Not saying that's going to happen today, but over the next week or so, $10 is very realistic here. Okay, so we had a nice break back above our 20 EMA. We spent about 4 days consolidating in between the 20 EMA and the 50 SMA, building up very, very nicely. What did we see yesterday? We actually saw a nice big push up through that 50 SMA. What are we seeing this morning in pre-market? We're gapping up above the 50 SMA. So what I would think would happen would we'd see the stock gap up, come back down into that 50 SMA where there's going to be some buyers, right? Open on up, a little bit of selling, back down to the 780. That's right at the 50 SMA. As long as we see buyers here at the 50 SMA, as long as we see this level holding as support, I definitely think we could push through those pre-market highs of 810 and start working our way up towards around $10. Now, you're going to have some resistance levels on the way up to 10, but I still think 10 is going to be that main target that traders are looking for. First target, you're looking at like 883, right? You have this gap down low, you have this low, and that's when it cracked on down. So I'm looking at right around 883 being your first target, and then $10 as long as you hold above $7.80. Definitely need to watch SOFI today. And then the last two, SPY and the Qs team. SPY and the Qs. I think today is another make or break day, right? Just like Wednesday was a make or break day around 403 on the SPY, right? What happened? The second we lost 403 support, a very key level, what did we do? We dumped over 10 points to the downside on Wednesday. Yesterday was a very, very choppy day. Very choppy day. We had a great put out of the gates, but again, throughout the day, really challenging, really hard, really choppy. I think today's a make or break day. Why is that? Yesterday, it's starting to put in this daily double bottom on the SPY. Yesterday, we're starting to put in this daily double bottom on the Qs. So today's a make or break, because if we start to drop back below yesterday's low, we can come back down to last week's low on the SPY. Same thing applies with the Qs. If we start to crack below yesterday's lows, we have potential to come back down to last week's lows. Why is it make or break there? Well, what if we crack below last week's lows? Well, that's a pretty key level of support. Where could we see the Qs come down to? The Qs could come down and fill this gap here towards around 275. That's another 10 points to the downside. We could see the Qs drop. So again, today is make or break, guys. If we start seeing some selling pressure, we start cracking below yesterday's low of 287. We can't hold 285. We have potential to fall another 10 points to the downside. However, if we can actually start breaking above 295 on the Qs, that's starting to show a little bit of strength. And that's going to start confirming this is a double bottom, right? That could push us from 295 to 300. And 300 is that key level. I'm not really confident that we're going to see a full-blown reversal in a nice multi-week rally until we're back above 300 on the Qs. Same thing applies to the SPY. We have the start of this double bottom, but I'm not convinced we're actually going to see that multi-week rally to the upside until we're back above $400. The first level that the SPY needs to break above to really start confirming this is the start of a double bottom is going to be 394.61. So if you start to see that SPY breaking with some strength above 394.61, that's a good first sign that we could start to actually be setting in this double bottom here. Where's your first level of resistance if you're breaking that 394.61? Well, you have 398 and then 400. And like I said, I'm still not convinced to be swing trading the SPY over the next week or two until we actually see it over 400. So today's make or break, guys. If we start breaking these levels of resistance, looking strong, that's going to build our confidence. This is that potential double bottom. We could see that multi-week reversal back up to 410, 415, and shoot, maybe back up towards around that 430 level ahead of next month's FOMC meeting. But if we do not hold yesterday's lows, we start cracking below last week's lows, where can the SPY start coming down to? If you look at this daily chart, guys, let's go look left at some of these prior lows and just mark up these levels. The SPY could see 383.75. We have any other levels? We do. I would say right there around 380. And then the big target, the main target underneath these two lower shadows, right around 372. So yes, there is a potential another 10 points we can drop to the downside on the SPY if this double bottom doesn't hold. There's another 10 points we can drop to the downside on the Qs if this double bottom does not hold. So today, team, is going to be a day if we start to see the double bottom actually forming and setting in, where we have confidence to the long side. If we start seeing these cracks below support, we want to think short to these next levels of support. 275 on the Qs. Then you're looking at the top target, the main level, 372.80 on the SPY. But we do have some levels in between. You have 383.75, you have 380, and then we could see it down at that 372.80. So today we are absolutely watching the SPY. Right now we have this uptrend from yesterday. Resistance is 394.61. So as long as we hold this trend line, start breaking above that 394.61, we're thinking to play this long to 398 and 400. We top out and we hit just solid resistance, 394.61, and then proceed to crack this uptrend. That's when we want to think about getting short down into some of yesterday's levels, right? 388, 387. So this trend line, keep this on watch. Holding the trend line, breaking resistance, you want to think long. Holding below resistance, cracking the uptrend, you want to think short. Same thing with the Qs. Okay, just run a trend line here on the Qs. Off yesterday's lows, run it on up, and just watch the trend line. As long as the trend line holds, we start breaking above 295, we can see 300. Popping up to 295, getting rejected, and then cracking the trend line. Look to take this short back down into the 289 level here on the Qs. Right? So penny stock recap. Number 1, IMMX. Number 2, NURO. Number 3, VERU. We got SIGA on the back burner. We got DPSI on the back burner. Stocks for options today. Looking at SE for the potential short opportunity. Looking at Affirm for the potential short opportunity. Looking at SoFi to the long side above 780. We have potential up to 883 and then $10. Definitely something we should keep on watch today. And then most definitely the SPY and the Qs. So let's go ahead and do this, team. Let's go ahead and take a poll. All right, what stock do you think will do the best today? Do you think the number 1 stock today is going to be IMMX? Do you think the number 1 stock today is going to be NURO? Do you think that number 1 stock today is going to be VERU? How about one of our back burner pennies? How about one of our back burner penny stocks? Obviously, we're watching the SPY and the Qs, right? Do you think that's going to be where the best opportunity is? Or do you think it's possibly with SE? Or do you think it's possibly with AFRM? And I'm even going to throw SoFi on the list as well. So I know there's a lot. There's about 8 different choices. But let's just see what you are thinking inside of chat today. So what you get to notice at the top of your chat room, okay, you're going to notice a couple different things if you're new to the chat. Number 1, you're going to notice this little poll notification that just popped up. You can click that, and then you can cast your vote. Or under recent polls, you're going to see what stock you think will do the best today. You can simply click on that, and then come in and cast your vote. So what stock do you think is going to do the best today? Cast your votes. The poll is in. I want to see what you are thinking inside of chat. If you're on YouTube, go ahead and type it up. Just type it up in the message field. If you're on TikTok, go ahead and just type it in the comments. What stock, again, team, do you think is going to do the best today? I want to see everybody voting. We have over 67 viewers in chat. I want to see 67 votes. I really want to see what you all are thinking. Sebastian saying RDBX. Didn't even look at RDBX. RDBX. Possibly RDBX. Maybe we have a back burner here. You know, if we can start breaking above Wednesday's high, that can bring in some volume because that's also breaking above the 20 EMA. And we know that RDBX likes to spike pretty randomly. So I would say watch RDBX over 425 for a possible move up to $5 on RDBX. So that could be a little bit of a back burner for today. All right, so we have 26% of chat saying IMMX. We have 34% of chat saying the SPY and the Qs. And we have 13% of chats between SoFi, VERU, and NURO. So right now we have SPY and the Qs for options. We have IMMX as the #1 penny stock for today. So let's start our day with IMMX. And then we'll just watch the SPY and the Qs off to the side. What I'm going to do, IMMX on the live stream. VERU off to the side. Actually, VERU is starting to pull back pretty aggressively. NURO is starting to fall below 475. So a lot of those stocks that we were talking about don't even really look the best right now. So let's go SIGA. Let's do that. Let's go SIGA on the back burner. All right, traders. So we are all set, ready to rock and roll. We have 38 seconds to go. If you have not cast your vote, you have 30 seconds to do so. Jump on in, cast your vote, team. Let's make it happen. Let's have an awesome day. I'm curious, is IMMX shortable? IMMX shortable? I'd have to locate some shares and see if we can short it. Scanners are live, and we are all set, team, ready to rock and ready to roll. I know it's pretty crazy, right? Yeah, Wednesday, we had 2.3 thousand viewers. Wednesday was our top day for viewer. We had a 2.3 thousand viewers. We are one of the highest viewer streams on TikTok for what we do. So compared to every other creator out there, we lead the board as far as some of the highest viewer count consistently here on TikTok, which is amazing. That clearly shows your guys' support, and it clearly shows you like being here. We know what we're doing. We can help you guys become successful. You're getting value out of these streams. So I really do appreciate the support, guys. You can always help out by tapping away, tap that screen, get those likes up, share the stream, follow, all that good stuff. We go live every single day. So we have a nice flag here on IMMX out of pre-market. So flagging out of pre-market leads to gap and goes. So when you have a nice flag out of pre-market, they sometimes lead to a gap and go, but here's the problem. You still have resistance right at 279. The risk is too far away. Your risk is too great compared to your reward, right? You can't touch it right here. In my opinion, you should not be touching this. Because again, the last thing I want to see you guys doing is jumping at 260, it pop up and then dump on back down, and it moves too quick for you guys to be able to get in and out. All right, team. I'm actually looking at SoFi here. SOFI. I'm liking these breaks and retests. That's where I wanted to see some buyers really start to step on into SoFi here, guys. Let's see if we get that nice little 782 bounce back over $8 here on SOFI. We opened up and came right down to that 780 level, which is our 50 SMA. And that's exactly what I said. Open up, pull back to 780, see buyers here at 780 start to rebound and start to break over 810 here on SOFI. So right now, SOFI needs to be on high watch over this 780 level. Let's see if we can get some buyers to step on in here on SOFI. Back over $8 could be a nice little red to green move, guys. You're risking about 10 cents. You put stops under 780. Possible red to green move back up to 810. You're looking to make 20 cents. That's your first target, risking 10 cents. If we start to see this transition from selling to buying and we start to see this curl, we start to see this U shape, we go from that B wall to C wall transition, that's when we can start to look to jump on in, risking that 10 cents to make 20 cents. And that's just our first target. That's just our first target on SOFI for this potential red to green move back up to the 810 pre-market high. I'm getting ready to jump in SOFI, guys. We start to see some increased volume and we start popping here. I'm definitely going to think about jumping on in for a quick little potential red to green move here on SOFI. I'm just looking to see these buyers, if these buyers can really start stepping on in and getting a nice little push back above 790. That can start really helping this thing get up towards around that 810. And then breaking over 810, guys, this thing could really, really start taking on off. So we just need to see that B wall, which is support, really start to set in and start to see that C wall transition here on SOFI. But right now, we're not really seeing that B wall here. We're not starting to see that transition. So red to green moves, team. There's 3 simple steps on a red to green move. There are 3 simple steps on a red to green move. Step 1, you have the stock drop into support. Okay, that's your A wall, right? You're not touching it on the A wall. Then you start to see support form. That's your B wall. You're not really touching it off the B wall. But when you start to see that C wall, what you're looking to do is buy during the transition of the B wall into that C wall for that red to green move. So why are you waiting for that transition? Well, you want to make sure that volume's decreasing, that volume's starting to step back in. You're looking to be a buyer during that transitional period. Stops right underneath that support level, and you have a very nice target. So we did not see that transition from B wall support to C wall. We never saw that to make an entry. Let's go over to red box. Anything there? No. So right out of the gate, we have a firm starting to really roll on over here just a little bit. We have the SPY, quick spike on up, and then just dumped on up. Did the SPY, is that a misprint? Or did the SPY really spike to 397? Was that a misprint? That's got to be a misprint there. Yeah, that's got to be a misprint. But hey, that was the make or break, guys. That was the make or break. You're cracking the trend line on the SPY. You're cracking that trend line on the Qs. You didn't want to see that. Right now, team, wait for a short little bounce, right? Wait just for a small little bounce on up, small little bounce, right back into this 392.37, and then look to short it back down for a nice little dump, right? That was a make or break level here, guys. Same thing with the SPY. Okay, the SPY's cracking this trend line. Wait for a small little bounce on up into prior support, new resistance. As long as you stay below that level as resistance, we can continue to drop on off here little by little by little. There's really not a lot happening with penny stock land. Really not a lot happening with pennies. So right now, I say your focus, SPY and Qs, and that was the vote of the day. That was the vote of the day. Was the SPY and the Qs. So again, team, you're looking at SPY and Qs. Again, you don't want to chase these as they're dumping. You want to wait for those little bounces back up. That's all you're looking for. You see a dump that shows some strength. Little bounce on up into a prior level of support, new resistance. You see that hit, and it starts to roll on over. That's when you want to think short. Same thing with a firm, right? Like a firm. I'm not chasing this after it dumped. I'm going to wait for a weak bounce back up into prior support as resistance. We have this downtrend as resistance. We have the VWAP as resistance. So I'm looking for a weak bounce back up into resistance, then looking to short this for the leg down. I'm not chasing it. I'm waiting for the bounce. Then I'm looking to get short. So let's see. Right now, I am watching a firm here. So there's the Qs, decreasing volume. That is the start of a three-legged pullback on the Qs. So I'd watch the Qs here. If this is staying below 292.40, right, on that decreasing volume, that could be the start of our three-legged pullback that really starts to pull this down. But again, we have to wait to make sure it's a decreasing volume, bounce on up into that 292.40. Then you want to think about that short. It's like I'm short a firm right now. We saw that little bounce on back up into the downtrend, into the 9 EMA. So I'm starting a small little position right there, looking to see if we do get that drawdown here on a firm. But at the same time, if the Qs start breaking through here and start really tearing to the upside, you could see the same thing play out with a firm. So I'm watching the Qs here. I'm watching the SPY off to the side, as a lot of these stocks are correlating with the broader market. They typically don't, but they have been lately. We see the same exact formation on a firm that we see on the Qs, right? We open red, we bounce, and then drop down. What do we do with the Qs? We open red, bounce, and then drop lower. So there is some nice tight correlation between the Qs, the SPY, and a stock like a firm. So I'm watching the Qs here. The Qs start ripping. I want to make sure that I'm exiting this position on a firm. We're starting to see that nice drop here on a firm, guys. We're up 250 on a firm. We're up 286. We're up 3. Let's take in a little bit of profits at 25. Locking in profits at 25. 25 is going to bounce, right? 25 is a level that's going to bounce. So again, locking in half profits at 25. Looking to see if we continue the drop here on the Qs. Looking to see if we can drop here on a firm. We're starting to bounce off that 25 pretty strong. Getting ready to exit my final position here. That was a pretty strong bounce, and it happened really, really quickly. If I would have just taken all my profits, I'd be sitting great. If I would have just taken everything, I'd be sitting pretty. Now I'm looking back, and I'm like, I wish I would have just taken everything at 25. Especially this quick out of the gate. So I'm completely out of a firm right now. It could have been a really big trade there. Could have been a really nice trade to start that Friday. But I didn't take it all at 25. I took half and then immediately back to break even on my runner. I went ahead and got out of that trade for 145. So it's okay. It's all good. Green's green. Green's green. If you guys don't understand that trade, I'll walk you guys through why I took that short and the reasons behind it. It happened very quickly. But if you guys are like, why'd you take the short? I want to learn from that. I'll definitely take a chance. I'll take a moment to break it down. Look at that, guys. We have 1.1 thousand viewers over on TikTok. You guys are awesome. You guys like the stream? Definitely tap that screen, share it. We're having some fun, guys. Those are my favorite traders. Those are my favorite traders. The coulda, shoulda, wouldas, right? The coulda, shoulda, wouldas. Those are my three favorite traders. But now it's a profitable trade, guys. It's a profitable trade. Could it have been better? Absolutely. Was it? Nope. It was green, though. Green's green. Nice way to start the day. Exactly. I like green. Profit is profits. And so we can learn from every trade we take, right? We can learn from every trade we take. Good trade, bad trade, right? So let's look at a firm. It was a good trade. It was a profitable trade. I like the setup. I see the setup play out day in, day out. And what I could have just done is taking all of my profit right at low a day, knowing that 25 is a strong psychological level of support, knowing that the probabilities of a strong bounce were there. And if I would have just thought that through before entering that trade, I would have exited my entire position down there. So I didn't, right? And I got stopped out on my runner. So what am I going to do differently on the next trade? Be a little bit more mindful about those key levels of support and have a better plan to exit 100% at that key level of support. But believe it or not, guys, a firm still looks like we could roll on over here. A firm still looks like we could roll on over here. So I am still watching AFRM at this point in time below the VWAP, which is prior support. We came down here intraday. We bounced. Then we dropped below it. We came back up. We retested. Right here, we just broke above, no trade. If we would have seen this get rejected again and start cracking, we would have shorted a firm once again for a new low of day. But we are starting to break back above that 2560 level. So now we just sit back and wait. That's all we can do. Just sit back and wait for another opportunity if there's going to be another opportunity. I tend to not use leverage. I tend to not use on penny stocks margin. I tend to not use margin for leverage on pennies. Now larger caps, I'll leverage a position on a large cap stock, but definitely not a penny. Definitely not a penny stock. All right, penny stocks team, RDBX. Do we have anything with RDBX at this point in time? We don't. We need to see RDBX breaking above 4 before volume really starts to move in up to that 425. And then over 425 is when we could start to see that push up to $5 on RDBX. IMMX is just chopping sideways, just sitting sideways at this point in time. And we know we could see this as low as 2. So right now, we're just watching IMMX. We're not actively trading IMMX. NURO, is there any reason to get involved here? There is not. BERU, is there any reason to get involved here? There is not. SIGA, not right now. DPSI is starting to build on up just a little bit, okay? But we just don't have volume. Look at the volume that we traded so far. 10,000 shares, 3,000 shares, 20,000 shares. We need to see some more volume really start to move in first. We've only traded 104,000 shares today. 104,000 shares. But here on Wednesday, we traded 23 million shares. So we really need to see that volume really move on in before we even think about a trade on DPSI. So Airbnb, this was one I was 50-50 with this morning, B Graham. I was 50-50 with it. I look at the chart and I see potential. But when I look at the chart, I also see resistance at 123. So from a daily perspective, I'd like to short off daily resistance. I'd like to short it intraday, but off a daily level. Ideally, for those bigger picture trades, those trades that really have tons of potential to make a big move in that single day. But yes, if we just go ahead and look at Airbnb, where was our high a day today? Right off yesterday's highs. So that is resistance, 116.28 on Airbnb. And if you look at Airbnb, we have room down to 111.13. And then we have room down to 107.45. So I'd say right now, you need a little bit more confirmation here intraday. I would start by running a downtrend off the high and connect your dots. So go ahead and just connect your high here and this lower high and connect your dots. So if you do see Airbnb push on up and hit the downtrend for the third time, and then it proceeds to crack low a day, that would be a short down to 111.13, just playing support resistance levels, right? Not a setup, not a strategy, not a pattern, just a simple rejection off downtrend resistance, cracking support, looking for sellers to move on in and pull the stock down 111.13. SE seems like it's going to be a fairly easy trade. And the reason I say SE seems like it's going to be a fairly easy trade is we're just ranging in a channel today. So we just have top channel resistance at 80. If you break top channel resistance, watch for a spike up to 81.61. If you crack below channel support at 78, watch for a dump down to 76.50. So SE seems to be pretty easy. If you crack that 78 support level, watch for sellers to start moving on in, and we could see this come all the way down to 76.50 before we start to see buyers move on in for the bounce. So I like SE below 78 to 76.51. If you break 80, I see the potential to 81.61. Just play the channel right now. Nice little intraday channel on SE. I'm going to go ahead and squash this right now since we have 1.2 thousand viewers on TikTok. I'm going to have to squash this. You're right. You don't need this many monitors. Okay, to day trade, you need one or two. Right? You need your scanners, you need your charts, you need your broker, you need a Yahoo Finance, FinViz, and your other tools. 100%. But I stream to a community. I stream to YouTube. I have multiple brokers. I trade multiple styles. I'm a business owner. I have my calendar. I run a community. I have my community open. So I do need what I call real estate. My streaming tools, my calendar, my brokers, what I stream, and to stay engaged with chat. You're right. You don't need this many as a trader. But for me, with everything that I have my hands in, it makes my life a lot easier having things on different monitors. So we squashed it. We're good. All right, we squashed it. We're good. Now we can stop talking about all the monitors. So right now, team, we are about 20 minutes in. And I know when the market opens at 9:30, we're all go, go, go. Where's the trade? Where's the trade? Where's the trade? Where's the money? Right? Go, go, go. But here's the thing. Remain calm, cool, collected. Just because you see a stock pop up 6 cents doesn't mean it's the time to buy. Sit back and wait for the opportunity to present itself. If we look at these penny stocks right now, guys, do we really have anything right now that looks fantastic for a trade? Right? I don't think we do at this point in time. There's still a lot of potential in the market. There's still a lot of potential with these stocks. But right now, they're not giving us a reason to get involved with them. So we're just looking, we're doing our due diligence, we're readjusting our levels, building plans, getting prepared. So if we start to see something move on up, we already have that plan in place, and all we have to do is just react. That's it, just react. We know exactly what to expect. We know exactly how to trade the stock. So here we go. We got some red box. Why are people so bent about your setup? I don't know. When you get that many viewers on TikTok, it brings a lot of trolls. Oh, there's no money in penny stocks. Well, we make money almost every day in penny stocks. Okay. You need more monitor. They say mo money, mo monitors, mo money. You need all those monitors to make money. So you get those people. But then you get a lot of great individuals that show up that pay attention, that listen. They're learning something new every single day. They're getting that mindset right. And those are the ones that I enjoy working with. That's why I need some moderators on TikTok when we go live. But we're watching RDBX here, team. All right, RDBX, at this point in time, we just broke our first level of $4. Okay, we just broke that first level of $4. We have an uptrend. Okay, we have this uptrend. So if you hold 4, watch for a spike to 425. You start to crack back below 4, your next level of support is going to be right here off this trend line on RDBX. So that's where our focus is right now. I love it, Jay Cohen. He goes, the more haters, that just means you're doing something right. The more haters, the better you're doing. Bring them on. Bring them on, baby. Come on. Hate away. I'm going to share some positivity with you. All right, team. So I was looking at RDBX. Can't borrow. No shorts available on RDBX. So we're just simply looking to play this to the long side. And I do really strongly believe the first level that we need to see RDBX break above and hold before we feel really confident for a big push to the upside is that spiking high from Wednesday, right? That spiking high, and then we just dumped on back down. So if we can see this breaking above 425, that shows strength. We can see a nice pullback and retest. Then we can see a follow through up to 5. I do like RDBX here, so this needs to be on high watch for a break and that potential retest for 425. Why a break and a retest? Let the stock break and prove itself. Let it pull back and retest on decreased volume. Really build a nice plan. Really get multiple separate reasons for that trade. Build some confidence up. Let it prove itself. And then let's look to go long for a top target of $5. Not saying we're going to ride it all the way to 5. But that would be one of our top targets if RDBX really starts taking on off. Josh has more patience for some of those TikTokers than I do. I used to not have patience. I used to feed into it. But now I'm just like, why feed into it? Pointless. If anything, let's just kill them with kindness. So yeah, before you talked to me last year, I talked mad crap. Now I'm just like, I love you so much. Thank you for showing up. You're a beautiful soul. You have a great mindset. Just thank you so much for being here. It's amazing. Thank you. Come back tomorrow. Here we go. SE team. SE. I know I'm listing off a lot. I'm not trying to get you all over the place. But when I see something, I want to call it out. So if you're watching SE, and you're like, thank God, Josh just looked at it, he's calling it out. That's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to get you all over the place. So just know that. I'm not trying to have you looking at a billion stocks. Okay? Focus on your 2 or 3. If I'm talking about something that you're looking at, that's why I'm doing this. So SE, we just broke $80. Okay? We just broke over channel resistance. What are we doing right now? We're pulling back into $80. So if you see a 2 to 3 candle pullback, right? 2, 3 red candles, pulling back, decreased volume, staying above 80. You would look to take it long off 80 to 81.60. So your profit target, let's just call it $1.50 to the upside. What's your maximum risk? 75 cents. Where should you put your stop losses? 79.35. So what is that? You're not risking more than 75 cents, and it's a perfect placement for your stop loss. And you have about $1.50 to the upside. If this is a healthy break, which we saw volume, and a healthy retest, we are seeing decreased volume. So nice low risk, decent reward. It's the 2-to-1 setup, and SC is breaking top channel resistance, and that could bring buyers in to 81.60. So stops underneath this pullback low, 79.30. You risk about 60 to 70 cents at most. You're looking for $1.50 to the upside, but you actually need to see this hold, right? And right now you're seeing the hold. Right now, as long as we see this formation breaks, 3 candles pulling back, decreased volume, right now looks like a good entry, guys. All right, guys. All right, I'm gonna shut it down. I'm gonna shut this down. There's too many. You guys, the ones that like being here, join us Monday when we jump back on the live. All right. There's just way too many trolls and clowns here. So yeah, give me a follow if you don't. I go live every morning at 8 to 8:15 for about an hour and a half with you guys, and I trade live with you. We have some fun. We make some money. All right. I'll see you guys Monday. Have an awesome weekend. Be smart in the market, guys. Be smart. Trade safe. Make it happen. I'll see you back here on Monday. All right. Oh man, I love it. So you guys have a plan here on SE, okay? You guys have a plan here on SE. It's a decent little setup. It's a simple break and retest over top channel resistance, right? So we have a strategy. We have a reason here. We saw that criteria being met. We have that 9 EMA holding the stock up as well. You have low risk, decent reward. Now you have to ask yourself, is this your style of trading, right? Do you like trading break and retests? If you do, break down a plan, build a plan, get prepared here. If you don't like break and retests, don't trade it, right? Only trade this if you've traded it before and you see success with it. If you've never traded this setup before and this is your first time, just disregard everything I said. The only way you trade this is on a paper account. If you've never traded this on a live account and you've seen success with it, you only try this on a paper account. You're back testing it to see if it works for you, all right? But right now, RDBX team, RDBX right now, team. This is where our focus needs to be. And I want to point out something with the SPY and the Qs. So look at how choppy we are here on the SPY, but also look at what we're holding. See that trend line? See that trend line from yesterday? What are we doing right now? We're really fighting this trend line. We're really fighting this trend line, team. So right now, I can't touch it. I can't trade it. It's too choppy. Okay, we need to wait for a decision. What's the decision? Strong push up, let's go calls. Strong crack below, let's take puts. But as it's chopping and testing, we're just watching. Same thing with the Qs, right? We're kind of technically below that trend line. But again, we know trend lines like to be readjusted by TD Ameritrade at times. Let's actually make sure that we have our correct trend line here. And I would say we do. And I would say that the Qs right now, you know, I know they're slightly below the trend line, but we can kind of see the same thing with the Qs and the SPY. We're really trying to fight right around that trend line. The SPY's right above, the Qs are right at, just kind of right in the middle of this trend line. So right now you're just waiting to see really what direction this is going to go. Now, if you go ahead and just remove all of your daily levels and you just look at an intraday, don't look at yesterday, don't look at pre-market, just look at your daily levels. What do we have here? We have a symmetrical triangle formation, right? This stock is squeezing. It is squeezing. Inside the triangle, 50-50. Breaking to the downside or the upside, you go 80-20. So strong volume, crack down, you're looking short here, guys. I think this can get pulled down below low a day. Let's actually wait now for the crack below low a day. We just cracked out of the symmetrical triangle formation. Right now, a crack to the downside on higher volume. We saw a little bit of volume there. That is starting to put the odds in your favor that we can actually start to squeeze and start to drop. I wouldn't say dump, I would say dropping to the downside. Nope, I just have a 1 minute time frame up right now. That's it, just a 1 minute time frame. There's not really a set reason why I'm doing this on a 1 minute versus a 3. It's just the time frame that I'm on right now, and I can see this formation clearly on 1 minute. If it was way too choppy and messy, you'd probably start to see me going into like a 3 minute or a 5 minute time frame. So you need to be watching this trend line on watch, right? We have this symmetrical triangle formation. As it's squeezing, it's purely 50-50. We don't know which way it's going to squeeze. We just saw a crack to the downside. We are pushing back up for a possible retest of that trend line, and that could definitely start to pull this on down. If you start to see that resistance here off this trend line, and you start to see it rolling on over, that could be your short back down the low a day. And then where's your next level of support here on the Qs? That's very important. Where's your next level of support? You got to be looking to lock in some profits. 290.86. Yeah. 290.90, right around like that 290.90 area. That's going to be a first level. And then you're looking at 289.50 is another profit-taking level, guys. But I like that symmetrical triangle. I like the potential that it's showing here, especially if we do get pulled down below our low a day here. Right now, the Qs here, team, are on high watch. See what happens over the next couple of minutes. We start to see that massive selling volume moving in. We really start to see this dropping on off. You could definitely scalp this really quick on those daily expirations. Again, right around like 289.90 and down into like that 288.50.